Hello and welcome to For Heaven's Sake, a Seventh Heaven podcast. We are your co-hosts, Lady J.
And T.
How are you, T?
I'm okay. How are you?
That was so coy. I've been better, man.
Yeah.
I'm battling a little bit of something right now. I can tell I sound a little nasally.
I mean,
I could, if I can hear it, I can only imagine what it sounds like.
yeah, it's not bad though.
Yeah. So I apologize to our listeners, but you know,
Tis
the
the
recordings
season.
must go on.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't like it if we took a week off.
They don't know.
But otherwise I'm good. I'm excited to dive in. I do want to say, you know, because of how we sort of backlog these and we're like way ahead of our release schedule at this point. We did just get an email from our good friend Tennessee. You know, in response to like the ending of season 9, because our recap just released as of this recording. And so he had some like fun things to say. I won't read it all, but like, you know, he was like, they got my man Simon out here raw dogging every random he sees. That really gave me a laugh this morning. That was awesome. You know, he concurs that the whole Mary, like making her the worst person ever is like the worst. And he says there's one thing that's been keeping me going, and honestly, it's the Martin and Ruthie thing. And he goes, I'm on the Martin Ruthie train, and I'm not getting off anytime soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, and like it's like we get it. Like I'm still on that train. Like
I know.
I'm still holding out hope, man. You know,
I know. Same here.
Somehow, some way, I don't know, but I feel like something's gonna happen. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, so thank you, Tennessee, for writing in. We always appreciate it when our listeners engage with us. So
yeah, definitely.
That was very sweet. Yeah. So let's get into the task at hand, which is episode 1006, titled Helpful.
Doubtful.
That's what it should have been called.
Yeah.
So the Amazon Prime spoilie is Martin and Sandy's affair is no longer a secret, which, I mean, it was bound to be not a secret eventually. Oh, also, okay, hold on. Let me read the DVD description and then we'll get into it. Okay, so the DVD description is not only is Lucy helping Sandy with her situation, she also agrees to meet with Sandy's dad, a hopeless alcoholic. Eric finds out about Rose's engagement ring, which also, like, is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really... You can't really keep that a secret for too long.
No.
Especially once Lucy knows, like, it's game over.
Yeah, and Lucy isn't the one that says it.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think her line of work now is actually helping her keep a tight lip.
And that is true. Or at least respecting keeping a tight lip. Like, given all the stuff that's happening in the beginning of this episode where, you know, Kevin's like, I want to talk to Martin.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm like, listen, Kevin, stay in your lane. Like there's things that you can get involved with, like Ruthie's first date or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I get that, you know, she's like your little sister, whatever. But like you have no business in Martin's life.
It's true. He doesn't. As helpful or non-helpful that he can be, it doesn't matter. Like he's not a Camden. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not your brother-in-law. It's not your whatever. That's what I mean.
He has no business. I mean, the only real reason the Camdens are involved at all is because, like, you know, Martin used to live with them.
Yeah.
And Lucy's a reverend who Martin comes to. You know what I mean? Like Martin didn't involve Eric. He didn't involve anyone else in this drama. Like, I mean, I guess, and Simon, because that's how it all went down or whatever. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only real reason, like, the Camdens are even involved in this. Like, they have no business in this either, really, you know? Like, and yeah, so for Kevin to be like, I want to go talk to him, like, let's not forget, this almost happened to me. It's like, okay, but it didn't though, first of all. And also, like, no business. I don't know. But I do want to talk about this, like, just to wrap up, I think, the drama from the last episode with Matt. Like, I'm pretty sure now, because after this episode I rewatched that scene from the last episode, and I'm like 99.999% sure that this is what, like, they were talking about Martin.
This. Yeah.
Because when Annie's rattling off all the people that know, she doesn't list Ruthie.
Yeah.
And Ruthie is like the only person who doesn't know at this point.
I'm kind of worried about that. Like, how is that going to go down?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Which, okay, oh boy. Are we getting into this territory? I don't know if it's like too soon, but like, okay, why is it such a big deal?
That Ruthie knows?
No. Why is it such a big deal when he finally tells Ruthie? Like, why does everybody universally acknowledge
I don't know.
that, like, Ruthie especially is going to take this the hardest?
Well, I think I'm going to go kind of on a naive route where I think it's because she's just so in love with him.
Yeah, but not everybody knows that.
Everybody. Annie knows. Eric knows. Like, the Camdens know.
I don't think so. I don't think, like, Lucy knows that she's in love with him.
Well, yeah, I don't know if Lucy knows, but Annie and Eric definitely know.
Yeah.
I'm sure George just even suspects something.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That's my only thing. I think it's because...
Wait, by George, do you mean Kevin?
Who now? Oh, no. No, I mean...
Wait, you think Meredith's dad, George, suspects that Ruthie's in love with Martin?
Well, I think everybody just suspects that everybody's in love with Martin.
Well, because he is hot.
Yeah. Dude, like, it's kind of creeping me out because in the last season...
How hot he is?
Yeah, and, like, seeing him in the last season, like, he's just, like, a boy. And now I'm like, okay...
Yeah, dude, he's, like, bulked up.
Yeah, he's bulked up. He's getting taller. I was like, stop. Like, I know he's around our age and he's really hot, but, like, it's just throwing me off to see him that young.
Yeah, no.
In that
he is.
Light, so...
He's a very good-looking person.
Yeah.
And, you know... Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go too deep into this whole Ruthie thing because I feel it's a little like icky for me still now. Like,
which part is icky?
The ickiness is like, at this point, she's basically like come clean to like her parents and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That like she's really into him. And it's like veering into territory a little bit where it's like, okay, so are you just gonna like love him from afar while he's dating one of your close friends? Are you gonna do something about it, thereby sabotaging his existing relationship? Like, and she has no clue about this whole Sandy thing.
Yeah.
So it's all just like very icky. Like, it doesn't make me feel good. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I found that all a little weird too, because it's like, you're kind of setting yourself up here for a really bad fall. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think like
it's complicated.
I'll say this. Since that whole story, like the Ruthie of it all is not really the main or not one of like the main facets to this episode, like I'm kind of like okay with not really talking about it too much in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't really like touch too much on the whole Ruthie Martin relationship in this episode. It's mostly about like a lot of other people, you know?
Yeah, and her kind of lying to Eric.
That's right.
When she brings home a 40-year-old boyfriend.
Okay,
but I mean, he's 16. He's 18.
But in real life, he's at least 26. Like, so I get it.
30.
Okay. Sure. Did you look it up? Are you like...
No, I don't know how old he was in real life, but I do recognize his face.
Okay, yeah. From what? Because I didn't bother to look it up, but I was like, I know this guy.
Have you ever watched the movie Accepted with Justin Long and Blake Lively? Okay, Blake Lively's boyfriend.
Oh, the douche.
Yeah,
who
the
wants
douche.
to like stop their school so they could build the school further. That's him.
Yep, that's him.
Isn't he like rapey a little bit in that one? Doesn't he get all rapey with Blake a little bit?
Does he?
I feel like there's like some implications.
No, he does cheat on her.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
He cheats on her.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Or she walks in on it. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Okay. I actually recently watched that movie too. Like, I don't know why it's all confused in my head, but anyway.
He wants to burst a pineapple. The other kid, like he wants to, with his mind.
And Jonah Hill's in that.
Yeah, he is. Does anybody want to? Never mind. I'm not going to do it. Blake Blake Lively and Jonah Hill were in a movie together?
I know. How weird. I mean, that's not that weird. Blake Lively wasn't Blake Lively 10 years ago, you know?
What the fuck was Jonah Hill's like? Was it 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Super bad.
No.
He was
Super
in
bad was
40-Year-Old
after
Virgin?
that. Yeah, he was trying to buy some shoes.
That's right. But that was barely, I mean, that was like his one scene.
I know, but like I think that was his like side stuff.
Foray.
And Accepted was side stuff. Super bad was him.
No, Accepted was post Super bad.
Really?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think so.
Okay.
Because Jonah Hill was not the breakout star of Superbad. Michael Cera was.
Oh, that's true. Well,
and then look where they are now.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill's probably going to win an Oscar or at least get a nomination.
Oh, dude, yeah. That guy's career?
Yeah.
The fuck? Okay, it's not about him.
Yeah, it's really not. So
helpful.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Ruthie.
I'm like, where do we go from
Ruthie. It was the guy that she brought
Ruthie
home.
Brings in an
what was
18-year-old.
No, wait.
Jake? Did he?
Brian.
Brian. Okay.
I'm like, I was about to say his real name, which his name sounds like a fucking band.
Wait, are you sure it's not Jake?
No, Jack is. You're thinking about Jack, who's the other guy
I guess
that she's into.
Okay, yeah.
But dude, his name is a band. Travis Van Winkle. Like, it just sounds like he's ready for.
Ooh, that's a great name. Travis Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does sound like a preppy asshole too, like,
doesn't it?
Like,
Travis?
it does sound like the Van Winkle part,
Yeah.
like really makes him feel like he might as well be the third. You know what I mean?
Shit. But yeah, so she brings home Brian.
Yeah, and she pretends that he's 16, so that. Oh no! Okay, let's talk. I want to play the clip of the twins because it's really funny. So, Martin, what? No. Eric and Annie are in the kitchen. Lucy has just yelled at them for knowing all of her secrets, right? About Martin and stuff. And she's telling them, like, listen, we got to keep this under wraps because, like, you know, if more people know, it's not going to let Martin come to this on his own terms, like whatever. Like, we got to keep it under wraps. And we especially can't tell Ruthie. Like, Ruthie can't know until Martin tells her. So then she leaves. Ruthie comes in with the twins. And the twins, like, totally blow up her fucking spot. It's hilarious.
We met Ruthie's boyfriend.
I thought we were going to let me do the talking.
Really? I didn't know Ruthie had a boyfriend.
I don't.
Yes, you do. It's not somebody you know.
Oh.
What was the plan?
To get Mom and Dad to let you go out?
We ran into someone when we were riding bikes. A guy from school. And he's not my boyfriend.
Are you sure? I think he wants to be your boyfriend. Yeah.
You know, why don't you two just go upstairs and do something while I talk to Dad?
I don't know. I find it pretty interesting talking to the three of you.
If you ever want to ride bikes with me again, you'll go upstairs.
If you were going to threaten them, and by the way, I don't like anyone to get threatened around here, you maybe should have done it before they gave away all your little secrets.
I love it. Yeah. We met Ruthie's boyfriend.
I thought I was going to do the talking.
And then she, like, stupidly says, what was the plan? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just blew up your own spot, Ruthie. Like, what are you doing?
Well, you know.
It goes back to what I always say about Ruthie is, like, she's too honest for her own good. Mm-hmm. Like, she wears it all out in the open, and it's like, honey, you're a teenager now. Like, there's certain things you don't say to your parents.
But I think, dude... Again, I think it's because Ruthie has no friends. And, like, no one is there to tell her, bro, you don't say all of this.
Well, and she has no one else to talk to.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You know, to confide in and whatever. Yeah.
But I have a question for you. Could you take Lucy seriously in those pigtails when she's, like, giving shit to her parents?
I mean, you know what it is about Lucy?
It was just cute.
It is cute.
It was just funny to me.
I especially loved seeing her in the beginning, like setting the tiles.
Dude, I completely forgot that this girl's handy. Like, I forgot.
I loved seeing that on her. Like, it was like, you know, she likes to do this. This is like a fun thing for her. She was like trying the tiles in different patterns and shapes and whatever, and like putting it all together. And like, that's like, you can tell she's really come into her own as a person.
Yeah.
Like, she's kicking ass at her job. She's loving being a mom and a wife and having her home. Did you also notice that all the exterior shots in this episode were of their house, not the Camdens?
I know. It was awesome.
Very cool.
It is cool.
Subtle and yet a cool switch, like a
I'm
like
looking
a transition.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of this house, or at least I hope we see more of this house whenever it's done.
Yeah. Like I want to see their bedroom.
Yeah.
And,
I want to see it like halfway through this season. I really want to see their home.
I think so. I think that's a reasonable goal. I also think it's probably like if they are going to make a big deal about it, like it's probably going to be a finale thing, like I could see where that could happen.
That's true. Yeah.
We also know, let's not forget too, that this is the end of this season is where some people come back because there was the series finale or whatever. So
what do you think? Wait, who comes back?
Do you want to know?
Kinda.
Well, we're going to see Mary again.
She comes back?
She's credited. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I'm all like happy, but I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do to her?
For all we know, it's probably like not even a speaking role. Like I don't know, but like she is in the credits.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. I don't know.
So Mary comes back.
Yep.
Does Benny Boy come back?
I don't know. That one I don't know. Listen, we've got a ways to go before we get there.
I know,
okay?
It's only episode 6.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's when we meet Brian, right? Because Ruthie's like, I want you to meet him. And then it turns out he's been waiting outside the whole time, which is so awkward.
I know.
And then he comes in and the joke is that he looks like this fully grown ass man or whatever.
That doesn't have a car.
Yeah. And that's right. Like Ruthie keeps saying like, he doesn't have a car. I thought maybe we could double with like Martin and Mare or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she says the same spiel to Martin, and Martin's like, yeah, no, I know he doesn't have a car. He's been trying to get every single person on the team to like drive him places like for the whole season. Like, I don't want to go out with you guys. Like, I want to be alone with Meredith or whatever. And Ruthie's like, come on, please, whatever. And then that's when Eric catches her in the lie.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I want to ask you both something. I don't want you guys to look at each other, take hints from each other or anything.
Yeah.
How old is Brian? And Martin says,
18.
he's 18.
And he looks at him, he's like, I have no reason to lie. And he just like pieces out.
But then you're like cringing when he says that because it's like, yes, you do lie, Martin. You've been lying for 6 months already, my friend. Like,
oh my God.
What are you doing?
Has it been that long?
I don't know. I kind of made that up. But like, presumably, because they fucked
she
in
is
June,
showing.
right?
Well, she is showing.
June.
Yeah. And it's episode 6. Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet.
No, yeah, it's like October-ish or like early November when this aired, I think. So somewhere in there, whatever. But like, yeah, like he like for him to be like, I don't lie. Like, yeah, you do though.
Yeah, kind of fucking up, Martin.
I mean, I guess.
Sorry.
I guess it's not. Is it lie? Yeah, it's a lie of omission.
Yeah,
right? It's like he's not lying and saying I didn't impregnate a woman.
Yeah,
but he is lying to like everyone that cares about him about the fact that he did.
The only person that he's actually confided in about it is Lucy.
Luce. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, and I guess like Simon knows or whatever. But.
Fucking Simon.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon.
So then, but this whole like lying about his age thing like leads to, I think, a really nice conversation that Eric is having with Ruthie.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. And in fact, I loved every single beat of it. Like, because I wanted to have a clip to play, but it would have been like a 6-minute clip if I played the whole thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it was, it had a lot of like beats to it or whatever. But like, particularly, I think the portion that it did cut out, like, really stuck out to me. I think it's after, he's basically told her, to like focus on herself, like not to be, so singularly focused on like liking a guy or whatever. That's when he goes into this part, and I don't know. Let's listen to it and then we'll talk about it, I guess.
It's so hard to tell you the truth when I know you're not gonna like what I'm telling you.
It's this simple. Don't do things you know are wrong, and then you won't have to lie about them.
You're right. I know you're right. It's just, why do you have to put me in a situation where I have to lie to you? Why can't you just trust me to make my own decisions?
Well, for one thing, you lied to me.
Well, is there another thing?
Well, yes, there is, as a matter of fact. I don't want you to end up being a young woman who will do whatever it takes to get a guy that she wants. whenever you find yourself in that frame of mind, like obsessed with getting a guy, or the feeling that you just have to have him, you'll do whatever it takes to get him. I want you to question whether getting him is really worth losing who you are.
Hey, it's not like I'm Rose.
Best.
If what you mean is you don't want me to have sex just to get a guy, I want you to know that I would never do that.
Thanks. I'm going to hold you to that until the day you're married.
To Martin?
Dude, I love how she's just like, to Martin.
She's not gonna let it go.
She's relentless, and I mean that in a complimentary way, just because the way it rolls off her tongue, like it's a matter of fact for her.
Yeah, it is. I wrote Eric is giving Ruthie good advice, and she's determined as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my favorite part in all this though is when she's like, why can't I date or whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, for one, you lied to me. And she's like, okay, well, is there another reason?
I know.
It's so funny.
She's like, let's roll with it. What else is there?
Oh man. Yeah, I loved that whole conversation. Like the way that he's, empowering her and kind of being like, we get it. You like Martin, you want to pursue that. Like it means something to you, whatever. But like, also, what about you? Like, don't be one of those people that like whose only purpose in life is to like be with someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, grow for yourself. Be like your own person, which is such important advice or like life lessons or whatever, especially for young girls.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Find what you like and be good at it.
Yeah. Find a passion that has nothing to do with other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's about you. Yeah. I think that's sound. Like it's one of the rare moments where I'm not like, okay, but really though, and I'm like, it's like, I'm here for everything that's being said, especially as I juxtapose is the wrong word, but like we have this heart to heart between father and daughter. And then we get another one between George and Meredith later, which we'll get into. Cause I want to talk about George in general before we talk about that convo with Meredith. But, like it's, interestingly, this is like a really father-daughter relationship heavy episode. Like it touches on 4 different relationships. Like you have Eric with Lucy, Eric with Ruthie, Sandy and her father, and George and Meredith. Like these are, I think, like the central theme. That's like the central theme for this episode. So let's talk a little bit about George. First of all, I love him.
I know.
He's so cute. He's like in love with his kids.
I know.
Fatherhood suits him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like that whole scene of when he comes to visit Eric.
Yeah.
And like before he even like comes to like, or like before he even like starts talking about why he came, he's just like telling stories about his kids, like being like all gaga over them. It's so fucking cute.
How's Cecilia?
She's fine. Besides switching colleges a few times, which is going to mean she's going to be in school a year longer than she was supposed to be, but at least she's still in college, so I guess she'll graduate when she graduates. You know that Meredith's older sister is still in school with Simon.
Right, I forgot. She's at Northern California School of the Arts, too.
Loves it. She's decided she's going to teach art at the high school level. She thinks art is such a good thing for kids, attributes her emotional health to being able to express herself through art. She is such a good girl. And I mean having lived in social services and out on the streets and still.
And she's not having any problems?
No, goodness no. She comes down on weekends and straightens out her sisters and her brother if they're even thinking about giving us any problems, which they're not.
Amazing.
I know.
He's like, he talks for like 5 minutes straight. Like it's so cute. He's just like, he goes down the list, like it's adorable.
He's a proud papa.
He is. And he has a lot to be proud of,
Yeah.
Like, these kids are good kids, clearly. And I think for him, it's just a pleasure having them. You know what I mean? Like, It's really sweet. So then he gets to the point, right, which is that he knows that Meredith and Martin have said I love you to each other, and he's worried that Martin may have said that as a means to getting in Meredith's pants.
Yep.
Which I get it.
Yeah.
We've seen Robbie do it on this show.
Oh, yeah.
So totally a valid concern, especially for a father. Like, I get it. And then, but unfortunately, while he's talking or asking Eric that question, he steps in it bad by letting it slip that he has seen Rose's ring that Simon bought her.
Yep.
And Eric, of course, has no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So it completely distracts him.
Yeah.
He can't help George. He's like, let me get back to you. I got to do some research.
And the best is when you hear him go, what? You hear George like, what?
George is like, what? Research? Okay, well, get back to me as soon as possible, I guess.
Just to hear him like, what? I love it.
It is. It's really cute. Because Eric is truly like you can tell, you can see it wash over his face.
Yeah.
Like, he's so distracted. He could not give a shit about Martin any less. And so George goes along his merry way, and that's when Eric calls Simon, and you get that voicemail of him being like, Simon, it's your father. If you don't call me by midnight, expect me on your doorstep again.
Yeah.
Which is
Simon.
really funny. So while he gets that voicemail, what's Simon doing?
He's hanging out with Sandy.
I'm going to let you talk about this because I need to blow my nose.
So the first thing that we see about Simon and Sandy comes knocking on the door. Simon, help! Simon, help! And so whatever, he opens the door and she's holding her belly, and I'm thinking, oh shit, she's losing the baby. But this is Seventh Heaven. No way she's gonna lose the baby.
Dude, she was thinking she's losing the baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
So anyways, and he's like, okay, let me put some clothes on. There's no time for that. And
mind you, he's already dressed.
I know.
He already put his pants on before he opened the door. Like, what more clothes?
I don't understand. What was he going to do? He was going to figure out what sweater to wear? Like,
he's all, hold on, let me shower real quick.
Yeah. So whatever. They go to the hospital, and then they find out it's gas. And it's just really bad gas, bad cramps, and so whatever.
I thought maybe it would be like Braxton Hicks, because that's always like the TV thing of when moms are like, oh no, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's always Braxton Hicks.
No, but they decided to go
gas.
safe route. It's just gas. And so whatever. Then they come back to Simon's place, and they're just laughing about it. And then they hear
just gabbing.
Yeah. And then they hear Eric over the machine, and she goes, oh, it seems like he found out about the ring. And then that's when Sandy lays it all out. Brave soul, let me tell you.
Okay, brave soul, because I think at this point she recognizes like it's never going to happen.
So yeah, she has nothing to lose.
That's right.
Yeah.
Plus, given her condition, she's not really in a place where Simon could potentially
even
do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really feel like she's just going for broke. Here, she has nothing to lose, like you said. And it's just it's just the truth just comes tumbling out of her.
Yep.
I can't believe I'd do something so stupid. I just think it's because I wanted you to know I slept with Martin. I was angry that you were dating Rose instead of me. And I'm a little jealous that you're marrying Rose instead of me. I wish I'd never introduced the two of you. And I wish that you had gotten to know me better. And I had gotten to know you better. And I'm really not a bad person. And I know you're not. And I think that you're going to make a great husband. And someday you're going to make a great dad. And frankly, I don't think Rose deserves you.
Sandy, look.
What? You wanted me to lie?
No. I just really wish you didn't say everything you just said.
Fine. I take it back. Forget I said any of what I just told you. Even though it's the truth.
I don't think you always have to tell everyone the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Maybe you should try it. Are you happy marrying Rose?
Is he?
He's a moron.
I don't know. What is your takeaway? Because he starts crying.
Yeah, when he got emotional,
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. I'm like, wait, why is he emotional? Like,
Right. Is it because of what she's saying about Rose or about what she's saying about herself?
I don't know. Like, I'm a little confused about his emotions because nothing gets clarified.
yeah.
You don't know.
Well, okay, but see, here's the thing though. After the events of, was that the last episode where she got kicked out? Or 2 episodes ago or whatever.
Who, Rose? Oh, yeah.
So after the events, like in the events in that episode was the first time we had seen Simon's like resolve crack a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
like resolve in terms of like, I'm in love with Rose. I want to marry Rose. Like, cause that's been his like, you know, his like mantra
Yeah.
for the whole season is like, I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. And we saw a little bit of that sheen crack a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, in seeing how she's like all like moved in and he doesn't like it, whatever. I think ever since then, it's been like slow burn, right? Like little things that give Simon a moment's pause
Yeah.
of like, oh, okay. Like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. And I think this is one of those moments where I think the reason he says, I wish you hadn't said what you said is not because now it's awkward between him and Sandy. I think he says that because now he's thinking about it.
Probably.
Right?
I mean, I think so. Because seriously, Simon, you're not even 21.
I know. It's like, get your head out of your ass.
And they keep reminding us,
They do
audience,
keep reminding
next
us.
year. He'll be
Why
21
do they
next
keep
year.
harping on that? Like
I don't know.
21's anything. Like he's already 18. Like that's it. Like
I
who
don't
cares?
know. But they keep reminding us that he is a baby in the end. Like he's still really young.
Martin calls him a teenager, which is weird because he's not. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't been for a couple years now. Like or at least one, I guess. I forget that 19 is also a teenager.
I know, right?
But yeah, so it is, I don't know. I loved that Sandy said all those things. I gotta say, I know this is not news to our listeners or whatever, but I'm really loving Haley Duff in this show. Like, she's really coming through for me. I'm appreciating her performance. I don't hate the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I don't hate the character.
like it sucks that Martin's got to go through this because we love Martin, obviously,
Yeah.
and we don't want him to. We don't want this for him. You know what I mean? But as a character, like she's not the worst. Like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying having her on the show. You know,
And I have a question though.
Yeah.
Were you waiting to hear Sandy to say all these things to Simon? Were you expecting it at all?
No, I honestly wasn't.
I
Because
was.
You were.
The moment when Lucy and Sandy are sitting on the grass. And just the way you hear Sandy not being the biggest fan of Rose, I was like, okay.
Oh, see, that stuff didn't surprise me though. I thought you were talking about her confession of love to Simon.
No. It doesn't surprise me about her confession about Rose, how she's not a big fan of her, even though they're friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know. From that moment in my mind, I was like, she likes Simon.
Oh,
I don't know why.
That never occurred to me.
I don't know why. I just said she likes Simon. And then, God, I mean, Rose, that garbage person.
She really is. She is the most garbage.
Yep.
I just don't understand her. Like, oh my God. Okay. I have to watch what I say here because it's not, this episode isn't even really about her. I mean,
No.
it is, she's not in it.
Yeah.
Like, thank
She
God.
only shows up at the end, right? With the, with the
her
dress.
fucking wedding dress. Like, barf all over me.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway. But, so yeah, so Sandy says all those things and Simon's like, oh shit, okay. Cool. I don't like that he says the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm like, what are you making a joke now?
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
She just poured her heart out to you and you have to make it like awkward. Like, I don't know
know.
where that phrasing came from. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
seriously.
It's like so awkward phrasing.
Like you could just say, you don't have to say the whole truth.
Period. Like it lands better. It's less clunky coming out of the
Yeah.
mouth. Like it's such a weird writing thing to say that. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to harp on it too much. So yeah. So I forgot where we were going. Oh, because That's right, because Eric calls him once he finds out about the ring. Meanwhile, Martin is like adamant that he be alone with what's her name, Meredith, because remember Ruthie wants to double date, and he's like, no, I want to be alone with Meredith, and Ruthie's like, oh, is that like you want to be alone with her, whatever,
yeah,
and he's like, I think you're implying something that you're wrong about her, whatever, and because we the audience know, like, he's gonna try to find a way to like tell her the truth about this whole Sandy thing, especially given that like he completely withheld it from her.
Oh yeah,
when he told her he loved her, like now Mare knows that they had he had sex with Sandy, but like that's like the worst amount of truth to know about a situation. Like enough to know something, but not enough to like know how bad it is. Like, I feel so bad for Mare.
I know.
And okay, so George has this heart to heart with Meredith. I want to play it.
Oh, please do.
Because it's so fucking beautiful. Like, it's truly just, I love George. I love George so much.
Is it because he told me that he loved me?
No. Yes. Maybe. I just don't want you to get into any trouble with Martin. I'm just saying, let's slow it down a little.
Look, I went through years at social services without having sex, which is more than I can say for most girls in my situation. So please don't think that I'm going to get talked into anything just because a guy's in love with me.
I didn't know that about you. I'm very happy to know that about you. And I trust you. Your mother and I trust you.
So you don't trust Martin. Why?
I don't know. I guess because he's a guy who's in love with you. But I apologize. I have no reason not to trust you. And I'm sure that you're going to do the right thing for yourself. So, if you don't feel that you and Martin are getting too serious too fast, and if you don't think you're headed toward a relationship that wouldn't be good for you, then you go out with him tonight or any other night. As long as you're doing well in school, I'll let you make your own decisions. And after all, you've been making your own decisions, and good ones, for a long time.
Thanks. But you know what? I will take the night off and do something else, just to show you that my whole life is not centered around Martin. I love being in this family. I love you.
I know.
Just like, can they just win the cutest awards of all time?
I know.
No, the cutest of all time awards. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, guys, sick brain. No, very cute. But then she starts going, okay, but really though.
Yeah.
Like, what is this about? Because did you just needed to hear me say that and then you're fine or whatever?
Yeah.
And then he starts talking about how, like, you know, it's really nice that all these siblings look out for each other and stuff. And so Mare puts it together that, okay, so she says to George, you know that Martin had sex.
Yeah.
My sister told you. And George doesn't disagree, right? And Mare's like, why would she do that? I told him not to tell anybody or whatever. I mean, he says he's not still in love with that Sandy girl, like whatever, you know? And so hearing the name Sandy, George does a really good job of keeping his face blank. Like his face doesn't give it away.
No, nothing.
But then 2 minutes later, he's back at the Camden house.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know everything.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, man?
He put two and two together.
Because he had known, because Mare's sister had also mentioned that there's a girl at school who's pregnant.
And her name is Sandy.
And her name is Sandy. So then he hears Martin's name in context with Sandy, and he puts it together.
Yeah.
And like, and then he says that thing, which is like so cute, where he's like, and just thinking about these kids, like, it just makes me want to cry.
He goes, cry for all of them, for Martin, for Meredith. Like, I was like, dude, like, bless you. I fucking love you.
He really is such a sweetie pie.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool that they were able to keep this character around and like do him justice beyond just being Cecilia's
I'm surprised
dad.
they brought him back.
I know. Like, it's very, very cool. It's awesome. I don't know. I love it.
I still can't get over you conned me.
And Eric's like,
and like he's sitting there looking like from like with his shoulders all hunched and like looking at me. He's like, yeah, I know what I did.
But yeah, so then at that same moment, Lucy comes in and Lucy's like, oh, hey, George. Like, cause she doesn't know that he knows.
Yeah.
Like, she's trying to keep it under wraps. So then Eric's like, he knows everything. And he's like, he put it together, I swear. But this is what I keep telling you, Luce. Like, people are going to put it together. You can't keep this a secret. Like, the advice you should be giving Martin is to come clean, not to just like take his time or whatever. You know what I mean? Which is how Lucy's been slow. Like, Lucy's been slow playing this whole thing with both Sandy and Martin. Like, she's been trying to keep them distanced from each other.
Yeah.
Until, you know, everything's out in the open or whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of hard when Martin is not fessing up to anybody.
That's the point. That's
it's
the problem.
hard.
Like, at this, like, while Lucy's advice, I think, is the right one. Like, all the stuff she told Sandy about how why force the issue is just going to make the stressful situation even worse and whatever.
True.
All that shit is such good advice. At the same time, like, you shouldn't be letting Martin off the hook. Like, Martin should feel pressure to tell his dad, to tell the people in his life this is happening to him. And more importantly, to face it himself.
Yeah, he needs to.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just living in this, like, denial bubble.
Yeah.
Where he's not really, like, it's not real or whatever, you know.
Denial and mean, but I mean, when you're scared, you're just the wrong things are said when you're scared.
I know, and he is scared, obviously, you know. So anyway, so speaking of Lucy, right? Like, Eric's whole thing in this episode is like Lucy is trying to do too much.
Yeah.
You know, she's helping Sandy. She's helping Martin, and now she's agreed to meet Sandy's dad.
Oh yeah,
who finally got back to her. Mm-hmm. They're gonna get coffee or whatever at the promenade, and
where everybody goes.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't ask to go get a drink, but anyway,
I know.
I think with alcoholics, maybe this is just a stereotype and a generalization, and if it is, I apologize. But
a functioning alcoholic,
yes. But I think with alcoholics like that, like, they don't go to bars and drink. Like, there's a certain amount of, like, I do this at home. Thing about it, you know what I mean?
Probably.
Like, I don't. Yeah, so. I feel like the people that you see in bars are not alcoholics. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, because I don't think you're social.
Right.
You're probably not a social being, even though you
want to go to the liquor store down the street
and drink
grab
it at
your
home.
40 and then take it home. You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. This is not about that. So she meets with him. I love that whole thing with her and Kevin, where Kevin's like, I'll come with you if you want. Like, it sounds like he's a kind of sketchy dude, like, whatever. And she's like, I got this, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine. And then she, like, goes and she comes back. She's like, okay, well, are you coming? It's really cute. Okay, no, but I got ahead of myself. So Eric and Lucy, he's trying to tell her, like, you know, you're doing too much. Like, it's like, you know, like, are you sure you have this under control?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And, you know, he starts, like, listing everything she's doing, and she's like, yeah. And then she's like, are you just jealous? Like, what?
That's my favorite.
All these people came to me instead of you. Like, what's this about?
She's like, yeah, I'm awesome. What's your problem?
Yeah. And that's when she gets the phone call and stuff, so she can't even fully have this conversation.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got this under control. It's all good. And Eric's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like, as she runs out the gate. But anyway, so she goes to meet with Michael McDonald, who,
I know,
in a role unlike anything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
I've never seen him play a serious person.
I've never seen him play a serious person. I've seen him play a dick before.
Like, in what?
That Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, Keanu Reeves, Melissa McCarthy movie Heat. Yeah,
he's in that one.
He's one of the villains.
Oh, okay,
he's like a douche.
Okay,
but again,
like, that's a comedy.
I know,
you know what I mean? Where
but
it's
like
played for laughs,
which you're so used to seeing him in Mad TV being Stewart.
Yeah. Or just anything. Like, I mean, one of the Amazon trivia things was that he's in every single Austin Powers movie, which I'm like, okay, funny.
Wait a minute, he was?
I guess so. I don't know.
How have I missed this?
I'm sure it's one of those cameo type roles, right? Where it's like, it's just a solid that Myers did for him. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, so in this, I'll be honest, I was so close to just cutting the entire scene and playing it for our listeners.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that really, but like, that whole scene of him talking to Lucy is like bone chilling. Mm-hmm. It's so
there's no remorse, there's no empathy,
there's like an undercurrent of like psychopathy in it, or more like sociopathy in it. Like there's like this, it's weird, like he's so dead-eyed, you know, which he's playing the drunkenness very subtly and like very well. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a very interesting scene. Yeah. Like from a viewing perspective, like, you know, just like everything about it. And I don't know if you noticed it, but the sound mixing on that scene is very interesting. Like typically when we have outside scenes like this, especially at the promenade,
it's usually overcrowded.
It's all you hear is the background noise. Like, and I especially noticed it because I cut the clips and I listen back to them and stuff. And like, you know, there's always this like din of people noise in the background, and then the voices are like the actors' voices are sort of mixed into that, like, slightly obviously above the din. But in this one, it's like stark, dude. Yeah. There is no background noise. In fact, they are extremely turned up. It's a very loud scene from the talking perspective.
Maybe that was the point, huh?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a very pointed, like, interesting scene. Yeah. In fact, a lot of this episode is, I think, in like from a filmmaking perspective, different and interesting. I'll get more into it later as my final thoughts or whatever, but this is one of the scenes that like really stood out to me. Yeah. That was like different than we've ever seen before.
That's true.
Like season 10 game be strong, yo.
I know.
Like they really,
if this show had started on this foot.
That's what I'm saying, man. What the hell? It was like somebody was just like, yeah, I don't know what happened with Brenda Hampton, but she was like, it's my last season, I guess I better be good. Like, I don't know, like it's so weird.
Like there's potential and growth here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll save it for my final thoughts, but I do want to play a snippet of this Michael McDonald scene.
Okay.
Her mother's stone cold sober, with an emphasis on stone cold. I detested being married to her. That's why I started drinking. And the memory of being with her is why I keep drinking. She's probably the reason Sandy started drinking.
I'm sorry?
Always seemed ironic to me. Drinking while working to put my daughter through drug and alcohol treatment programs.
Sandy went through drug and alcohol treatment programs?
Yes. Before she could even drive a car. And they worked. She quit. She gave it all up. Well, I take that back. She gave up the booze and the pot and substituted that for sex, but that's when her mother and stepfather threw up their hands and said, that's it? Your comments, Reverend?
You want to hear my comments? Okay, here are my comments. Despite your being an alcoholic.
Functional alcoholic.
Despite your being a functional alcoholic. Despite Sandy's mother and stepfather giving up on her, despite the fact that she went into rehab at an early age, despite the fact that she came out of rehab and possibly started using sex as a substitute for drugs and alcohol and is now pregnant, despite all of that, or you know what, maybe because of all of that, I think Sandy is going to overcome all of the challenges she's been presented with, all of them. And she's going to be just fine without you or her mother stepping in to help her.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope she's right.
I hope so too.
I'm not quite as much of a believer in Sandy as Lucy seems to be. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the cynic in me. Or maybe I'm just like conditioned from watching the show that not everything like, you know, goes the way it should or would wanted to or whatever. But
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Lucy's right about Sandy. I like that Lucy's got faith in Sandy.
Yeah. Well, it seems like that's the only person that does.
I know.
And it's like, how do I mean, again, it is your choice how you want to live your life and how you want to present yourself or carry your life. In the end, it's always your choice. It's always in your power. Always. Right. However, when everyone has lost faith in you, how does someone break out of that mental cycle? of saying that you actually do have the power of taking care of yourself and not and not replaying that bullshit over and over again on repeat in your head.
Well,
it's hard.
Are you saying that Sandy has, though?
With all her issues, for sure. There's a lot of shame involved with her. A lot. And her substituting things. Like, okay, she's finding another mix to cope with it. Well, there's no one there that's actually even trying to talk to her. And they've all kind of given up.
I think in a lot of ways, Sandy, as you mentioned, or as you're saying, like, has broken the cycle, right? I think in the sense that, like, look, she's on her own. She's in school.
Yeah.
You know, she's obviously self-sufficient. Like, she's taking care of herself. You know, she's not relying on anyone. Like, those are great things that she's achieved for herself as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not taking anything of that away from her. But on the other hand, she has fallen under some patterns. Here she is. She's going to be a mom.
Yeah.
She's not even sure she wants to be a mom. She was so excited for the potential that maybe she would lose her baby, you know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say so excited, but she was like kind of hoping it would happen, you know.
Yeah.
She you know, she doesn't know how to have a stable relationship. She's pining for some guy who doesn't care about her, i.e. Simon.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say doesn't care, but has no interest in being with her.
Exactly.
You know? And you know, she's like chasing down the wrong doors, you know.
Yeah.
So those are all things to me that say, like, that's not the most stable person. You know, what I mean? She's obviously got a long way to go to and not to mention that, you know, she's not quite confident in her ability to, like, take care of this baby. Like, she's still looking for some help. You know what I mean? Like, first she thought the help would be by marrying Martin. Now she's, like, looking to her dad to, like, help support her and whatever. Like, you know, I don't know. I worry about Sandy like that a little bit because, like, I think what Lucy is helping her come to is, like, recognizing that she is capable and that she can do this, you know? And I think that's why it's so important that Lucy is there for her and does believe in her.
True.
But I still think she's got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely does. Because she's really hungry for love.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that's going to come out of her, like literally she's going to give birth to something to love.
Yeah.
Or like she's just trying to grab on. She really wants a companion.
Yeah, I know.
And it's almost like, I don't want to say it doesn't matter which way it comes, but it's almost like she has been begging for that for so long that she's misguided on how to get that companion, that kind of like stability, which she wants. Man, sad.
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Michael McDonald doesn't leave on the best of terms. She says all that to him.
Oh, dude, she wants to pummel him?
Yeah, well, she says all that, and he's like, oh, of course you believe that. You're like pie in the sky, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then gets up to leave. And then that's when and he doesn't get up to leave. She gets up to, like, fully, like, punch him across the table.
Fucking Kevin holds her back.
Kevin holds her back, and he's like, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Because he has no clue that they're together because he's at a separate table, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's like, thank you, sir. Good day. And he, like, turns to leave, and that's when she, like, throws her coffee at him.
Good arm. That's all I'm saying.
That, and also, like, I was shocked by that because that's so not Lucy to do that.
It's not, yeah.
None of this is Lucy, to yell at a stranger and to, you know, try to punch someone. And, like, none of that is Lucy. But this is a Lucy who has found herself, you know? Like, she is, like, really secure in her personhood for maybe the first time ever. Yeah. I love it. I love seeing her like this.
I know. I feel you.
She's a badass, man.
This is the Lucy I've been wanting to see.
Thank you. I mean, Lucy's always been a badass, but she's finally, like, owning her badassery. You know what I mean? Like, hallelujah.
Awesome.
Praise be. So, our final moment, it's not the final moment, but for the purposes of our conversation, is Eric having a final sort of wrap-up powwow with Ruthie.
Yeah.
He and Annie are basically offering her a deal. She can choose whoever she wants to date.
Yeah.
And she can date whoever she wants. As long as, first, she finds a project all her own.
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with anyone else, least of all guys or boys. She finds a project that allows her to be helpful to others, the community, a person or whatever, but something where she can, you know, be a volunteer, do something good for herself, for her own growth, find herself a little bit, whatever, then she gets to date whoever she wants.
Yep.
Which, I don't know. How did you feel about that?
Just worried about Ruthie, that's all.
Yeah, me too.
That's all.
I don't love that. And especially not because her takeaway after all that is like, awesome. Like, I'm going to date the best guys because like whatever. And I'm like, that concerns me that her takeaway is not like, okay, I'm going to find a project. It's, yes, I can date whoever I want.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And it's like, okay, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping for the best because I trust Ruthie. You know, like, I know Ruthie's got a good head on her shoulders and like, she's not going to, you know, I mean, I hope she doesn't take advantage. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't know.
I'm just trying to understand how Ruthie dating turned into this big problem. Only I know it's because she's like, okay, she's
that
lied
age or whatever. Yeah,
she's lied or whatever. Okay, that I get. Kind of like, okay, what else? You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she lied, and
well, I think that's it though. Is like, you know, I think it became a big deal because Ruthie made it a big deal. You know what I mean? Ruthie made such a stink about this Jack guy in the beginning of the season that it forced her parents' hand, you know, to make it a big deal because they're not ready and she's not ready and all these things. So it didn't just blow over like so many other things have blown over. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think it's because Lucy and Mary dated guys that were within their age range or like in their class. The only time the other person dated someone older was Lucy when she dated Big Lips.
Oh, that's fair.
Because like, wasn't he in Mary's grade?
Class? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
But everything else, it's always been someone in their class, someone in their age group or whatever. No one older.
Yeah, but see, I don't buy that though.
I know. I'm not trying to give an excuse.
Does not an age gap make? You know what I mean? Especially at 16 and 18. Like, get over it, people. And I can't fathom or I can't imagine that viewers in 2004 or whatever this was airing were watching this being like, oh my God, 2 years. No, that's a child and he's a grown ass man. Like, I don't buy it. And I don't think Brenda Hampton buys it either. I really just think it's like, and this is okay to get to my final thoughts about this episode and this season or whatever. What I'm loving about this season, and I think the reason it's so successful so far is, you know what we always talk about, how like, you know, there's like an arc, there's a plan, there's a trajectory, like you start somewhere and you lay the scenes and then you end somewhere, right? Yeah. For the first time, I feel like they've achieved that.
Yeah.
Like this season started very clearly like, okay, where is everybody at, right? Sandy's pregnant. Simon and Rose are engaged. Ruthie's wants to have a boyfriend. Martin and Meredith. Like this is everyone's starting point, right?
Yeah.
And every single episode has been focused on developing that story for every single one of these characters.
I know. It's true.
And it's so thought out, you can tell.
Yeah.
It's so like, you know, clearly themed and like focused that it's working.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think the focus for Ruthie, her arc, right, in this season is about her getting with somebody, whoever that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And while that's maybe not the most interesting or worthwhile story to tell, right? It's the story they've chosen for her.
Exactly.
And at the very least, it's like, it's not random. It's not here and there, disjointed. It's like we're, you know, with each episode, we're evolving more and more to the story, right?
Yeah.
It started with Jack. All of a sudden, it became a little bit about like any guy, and now it's like Martin / who else in between, you know, like it's clearly developing towards something, which is very you know, cool and like fun to watch, and finally like decent from a storytelling perspective.
That's true.
But more importantly, I want to talk about this episode. For me, it had a very play-like quality to it. It felt like I was watching a play.
Interesting.
I think it had to do a lot with there was not a ton of scoring.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is such a winner for me always.
Yep.
Like, I've become so desensitized to it after 10 seasons.
That you didn't even...
Like, well, I guess what I mean by that is, like, when it's so heavily underscored, I don't really, like, I can tune it out.
Yeah.
But when it's not there, I notice it. Like I notice that palpable, like, absence of the constant scoring that the show is a victim to.
I know.
So, very winner in that, like, very winner. What the hell? That's not English. You know what I mean? Like, it wins for me on that count. Like, let the moments hang. Let the words hang.
Yeah.
Let them have weight. Don't tell me how to feel. I'll feel it if you cut out the noise. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Awesome. And then secondly, particularly I noticed it in the scene between Eric and Ruthie in her bedroom, the whole, the heart-to-heart moment.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's throughout. But that scene between Eric and Ruthie, the usage of the space, there's a lot of, it's just a 2-person scene, right?
Yeah.
And there's not much to it visually.
Yeah.
It's mostly in the words, but they're constantly going from one bed to the other.
Yeah.
He goes, then she goes, and then she gets up and she goes, and then he joins her. It's a very interesting sort of like zigzagging, you know, I don't know. I notice things like that sometimes. Like, it's rare that I do, but when I do, like, it really like hits me hard of like, oh shit, like something's happening here, you know?
They're
like,
trying something different.
Yeah. And I respect that. I can appreciate that when they do that because it's so rare.
It's true.
And I think like we've set the bar so low, or rather they've set the bar so low on themselves.
We've been conditioned.
Yeah. So, and then the scene with Michael McDonald and Lucy, very much a play.
Yeah.
I mean, so very much in the dialogue, you know, not a ton happening visually, just like letting the words hang, letting them mean something, you know. I don't know. It was very interesting. And I didn't even notice any difference. Like, Harry Harris directed it, which he's directed an episode or two before, or if not more, you know. So it's not like some new fancy director or whatever. And Brenda Hampton wrote it with 2 women with the same last name. I'm guessing sisters. I don't know.
Okay.
Who I didn't recognize their names from before or from other episodes. So maybe their writing touch helped this
probably
a bit. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I don't know because I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah. And then we didn't talk about this at all, but the book, the How to Behave and Why, that keeps getting passed around in this episode. It starts with the twins, and then Annie hands it to Ruthie,
and then
Ruthie leaves it on the counter. So Eric's reading it, and then he hands it to Lucy. Like, start reading this to Savannah now, kind of thing. I think, you know, I don't know that. Is that even a real book? Like, I didn't look it up.
You know, I didn't even.
I'm gonna guess that it is a real book because of all the screen time it gets. It must be
true,
a real
right?
book. And maybe our listeners know, and maybe have you guys read it? That would be fun. Like, have you read it? Does the message hold up? Like, you know, I can't imagine it doesn't, because from the excerpt that Annie read to the twins, you know, like why it's good to be a truth teller because people will trust you and whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cool little, like, you know, book for children of like, you know, but like one of those like things where it's so simple that like you want to read it as an adult too, because it just like the message is clear, and it like you just get that jolt of like, I know this, but like I needed to remind myself of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, probably. Which is what Lucy tells Eric in the end too, when she comes to him for help. She's like, I'm sorry I blew up in your face or whatever. Like, I know how to behave. Like, I know that I need your help. It's just like I got a little too excited on my own power, you know, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess we can rate it, but like, I really like this episode. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Same. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
Who knew, man?
I know.
Who fucking knew season 10 would be so coming in the clutch.
I know, and I'm so scared.
I know.
I'm really scared. I'm like,
I know. I'm just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, honestly, like I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's really
it only took them 9 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
All right.
All right. Any stray observations? Things we didn't talk about?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right then.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. As always, don't forget to subscribe and rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media at For Heaven's Sake Pod. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/For Heaven's Sake Pod. That's the number 4 Heaven's Sake Pod. We've got 2 tiers up there on Patreon. We have the Keep the Lights On tier and the Heaven Head tier. All the deets are on patreon.com/For Heaven's Sake Pod. And, if you, like Tennessee, want to write to us about anything that we've been talking about so far in season 10, things we've talked about in the past seasons, whatever, your thoughts, your musings, you can write to us at forheavensakeshow@gmail.com. That's all spelled out, no numbers in that one.
Yep.
And until next time, bye.
Bye.